Hey, happy Wednesday. It is Convos. Of course, I am your host, Drika M. Carter. And each and every Wednesday, we bring coaches, entrepreneurs, artists who are winning in their particular industry. I am so excited for today's episode because we have Miss Gendaboss all the way from Canada. Jen, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself.
Yes, first of all, thank you for having me. Super excited to talk to you today. So, I am Jen. Many people call me Gendaboss online, and I wear many hats. I always love to say I'm one of God's fave, right? But outside of that, I am a mother of two amazing children, and I am Canada's six-figure mindset coach. I really tailor my work around mindset because it took my mindset to change in order for my life to change, right? I've written a book and just kind of detailing all of the triumphs and the different challenges that I had to go through. And I'm also a mentor to thousands of people around the world. So, yeah, I wear a lot of hats.
That is so dope. Wait, it's so funny. We have so much in common, and this is our first time talking. So this conversation gonna be real authentic, y'all. We
Yes.
literally getting to know each other in front of everybody in the world, right? And so, two things that you said: one, you have two kids. I have two kids. You have two boys or two girls, or a boy and a girl.
I have a boy and a girl.
Oh,
But
you got your pair. You said you want
I'm
more
good.
kids.
Okay. Best of both worlds. I am good.
Everybody be like, "Why you don't have another kid?" I'm like, "I'm almost done. I am good. Like this life is good." What Future said on the beginning.
Exactly.
Life
Okay.
is good, right? And another thing that you said is your business is about mindset coaching. And that leads me directly into my first question because I always want to talk about mindset first. Like, what do you feel like is the mindset of an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so I believe the mindset of an entrepreneur, first and foremost, has to be very open, right? You have to have an open mindset, which means that you're open to new changes, you're open to new thought patterns and ideals. And the reason being is entrepreneurship is like a slopey road, it's like a roller coaster, right? You start off and then a curveball might happen, and you got to be prepared for that, right? I also believe the mindset of an entrepreneur really is around discipline, right? Really around discipline. I also believe that it is about thinking positive, thinking long term, right? Being super optimistic. I do believe that, entrepreneurs, we have a special gift. It is not easy being an entrepreneur. I tell people all the time, if you are not ready to put in the work your 9 to 5 and be happy with it. Because as an entrepreneur, we are putting in 10x what the average person is doing. So understanding that tenacity is extremely important when tapping into entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. And a lot of times I feel like entrepreneurs don't have that mindset kind of coming into it. It's like something that's developed. But I always tell my mentees, right? I was talking to them the other day, and one of the sessions that we had last month was about finding your why. And
Right.
so everybody came into that session unexpected. Like they didn't know what I was gonna say. But everything that they thought, I was shutting it down. I was like, nope. Why are you doing this? And people say, I graduated for my kids. I opened my business. I started my business for my kids. And nope. What are you doing for you? Like you have to put you in front of everything in order to develop the mindset because most of the time, and then last night I was on live too, and I was talking about how women always put themselves last. Like even with kids, we put the husband, we put the kids, we put the parents when they get elderly, we put the siblings and everybody before us. And then the little bit of strength that we have left, we kind of, pull ourselves in and say, okay, now I need some self-care. Or we wait until we burnt out. And then we
Yeah.
say, you know what? F this, F everybody. I need self-care. And then now you want to shut everybody out. But if you were putting you first, you wouldn't have to shut everybody out. You wouldn't have to try to redirect and hire mentorship and hire counseling and that because you were putting you first at all times. And I learned that from my husband because he always says I can't be the best man that I can be for you guys if I'm not putting myself first. And I
Exactly.
was like, that's selfish. But I had to realize that he was right.
Yeah.
He's right the whole time. Like men always gonna put themselves first. So why do we feel like we gotta put ourselves last? Like that is something that we really need to
Mhm.
redirect, the unlearn to relearn. Because as women, we
100%.
always like, oh, I'm gonna just you're ripping and running. You going all throughout your day with sweat clothes on while everybody else getting dressed up. Your
Yeah.
hair not done. And you like, oh, the party over or the event over. I just gotta go like this, looking like a soccer mom because you putting yourself last instead of you
Right.
getting dressed and telling them to get dressed and everybody rolling. Now it's cohesive versus you having to feel like, oh well, I'm gonna just stay in the car. Or I'm not ready or I'm not dressed.
Right.
And that's what happens so much. But definitely your mindset is the first thing that you need to work on as an entrepreneur. I always encourage people to invest in mentorship, invest in coaching. Tell me about your experiences investing in coaching for yourself, not just you being a coach, but you being an actual student.
Yeah, my mentorship investment days started years ago, okay? And I go back to the days where, you'd have a guidance counselor at school or a social worker. That was my mentor, right? That was my mentor. And so when I say goes back years, I actually grew up in one of the tougher areas in Toronto, Canada. And so mentorship was extremely important for me to have someone that was positive speaking into me when my environment didn't look so pretty, right? To open my mind up to see something further than what I was able to see in my physical eyes, if that makes sense. So it really started there. As I got into the business realm and as I got into the entrepreneurship space, I understood that investing in a mentor was a part of the budget. Like that was a part of my self development and it was a non negotiable for me. So when it came to getting a mentor, it was a no brainer because I understood that I rather learn from someone who's walked the walk, right? I rather
Yes.
be around people that is going to speak life into me. And I always say, if you are the smartest in the room, you are in a cage. So I always prided myself on, surrounding myself with people that can just speak life into me and empower me and teach me, right? It doesn't matter how much money you're making or if you're way more successful than me, that inspires me. I thrive off of being around people that are richer than me and that have a couple more years in the game than me because you can learn so much. So I tell people all the time when thinking about a mentor or coach, make it a non negotiable. You can get 10 years ahead just having a mentor. It's like a cheat code all the time. I always say my mentors are my cheat code because they're able to give me the ins and outs of their experience. And a lot of the times, it is super important to learn from somebody else's mistakes. So if you can have a mentor or coach that's walked the walk that you're about to walk and they've made mistakes, they can, stop you in your tracks and show you how you can reroute or do something differently. So mentorship, investing, huge, and for me, non-negotiable.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. I've invested from 4 to 6 figures into mentorship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it shows, right? It shows in what I'm doing, it shows in my work, it shows in my passion, it shows in my mentees and the
Right.
return on investments that they get from investing into me, right? And I always tell, like I talk to a lot of coaches, and one of the things that you just said about, if you're the smartest in your circle, you need a new circle. Same
Right.
thing, my pastor always says that, right? And that was so, he been saying that to me. I've been going to this church since 2008, right? So of course this is just embedded in my head. If you're the smartest person in your circle, you definitely need a new circle. And so you always need to be putting yourself in different rooms, putting yourself in different environments, even if your environment doesn't look so good. Like we talked about this in my group mentorship not too long ago as well, about the environment that you want to be in. Go drive around where the big houses are. Go take a day in that neighborhood and see if you even like it. Because if you're used to being in a chaotic environment, if you move to a rural area or a quiet area, you might not like that because it's not what you're used to. But
Right.
you'll be uncomfortable, but you might be comfortable in the trenches. So you have to get outside of yourself right now, right? Or where you are right now, and look at where you want to be. Look at what you desire to have. Look at the lifestyle that you desire to have, right? And what does that look like? How does it look for somebody that has been there, right? And when you're looking for a mentor or a coach, make sure you're doing your due diligence. Don't just look at the lifestyle that they're presenting. Look at the results. Look at the return on investment. Look at the reviews. Look at what people are saying about them, not just their program, not just, you know what I'm saying, right? It's not just all about making money, but it's also about improvement. And that's what mostly my mentorship is about, personal and professional development. Because if you only develop in a business and you never develop yourself personally, if they're not telling you read books, if they're not telling you spend time with yourself, if they're not telling you put you first, you're losing because you have a bunch of yes men around you. I don't want a bunch of yes men. I don't want to be around like-minded individuals. I want to be around individuals that have different mindsets that's going to
Right.
challenge me, because I'm always, let me play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Let me play that. All right, so what about this? I want
Yeah.
somebody to tell me no, that's trash. I want somebody to tell me, yeah, that's cool, that's dope, let's do it. I want
Right.
somebody to be like, how can I help? How can I invest? How can I sponsor? I want those people around me, so I place myself strategically around those type of people. Your environment, meaning the people around you, not just necessarily the setting, right? The
Right.
people around you can help you get to where you want to be. The people around you, my friends put me on my first stages. My friends put me on my first podcast. And I've done the same. I've made my friends international speakers. I've made my friends podcast guests. And so they're able to step out there and say, I'm an international speaker now. Or I've been on podcasts, or I'm a journalist, or I write magazines and blogs and blurbs, because we help each other. We lift each other up because we saw that it lacks, especially in our community.
Absolutely.
One of the
Absolutely.
things that you put was a topic of conversation was building community. So how would you say you build community, or what's building community for you?
Yeah, so building community is huge. It goes back to, we're all raised by villages essentially. So it goes back. Communities has been around since before we knew human, existence. And for me, it was so important when, I decided that I was going to tap into the social media space and start a business. And I was like, I understand that this is a big world that I'm not accustomed to. And in order for me to dive into this new space, I'm going to need support, right? That's one thing. And I said to myself, if I'm feeling this way, there must be so many other women that want to dive into entrepreneurship, don't really have the support, don't really know how, but definitely want that community and support. So that's really where it started for me. It was COVID, and I was working my social work job, and I was like, I need to figure out a way to make money online just in case the world shuts down. And this is like right at the beginning of when COVID started. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try this entrepreneurship thing, but I don't know what to do, how to do it. What am I going to do? Who's going to support? And I was like, okay, I'm going to create my community around that. And I created an online space where, women and men around the world can come in and literally come and create this community where we have that support to take on online entrepreneurship. And that's really where it started. And I've been super fortunate to be able to build my community around the world. Over 10 countries we have tribes in right now, and we all connected online. And I tell people all the time, if you leverage the online space the way you're supposed to, you can create so much impact. And I'm literally a living testament to that, because again, half of the women and men in my community I've never met in the flesh, but no one can tell me that's not my bro, and no one can tell me that's not my sis, right? Because we
Exactly,
built that
exactly.
connection. And I tell people all the time, in whatever space you're in, whether it's entrepreneurship or not, community is so important, because, sometimes you feel like you're alone. Sometimes you feel like you're alone in the waters, and there is someone that is going through the same exact thing as you, but you wouldn't know that because you're so disconnected. As women, it's not easy creating community a lot of the time because of a lot of the traumas that we went through growing up, that
Yep,
narrative of women can't collide or come together and create
yep.
something great because we are competitive beings. But for me, I wanted to defy those odds and show that it is absolutely possible. Women empowerment absolutely can still be a thing. And creating, girl gangs, girl tribes, and just coming together and showing that, all you need is a bunch of women that can literally operate on the same wavelength where it comes to mindset, where we can heal each other and we can come together and create magic. And that's what I've been able to do. So I'm super, super big on community and always advocate for it.
1,000%. And a lot of people, it's so funny because for me, I always hung with men, kind of like I have a very few lady friends, but I kind of like fell into the women empowerment genre or whatever. It's
Right,
like, yeah, everybody just put me here, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I guess, I mean, I do empower women. Like I like to see
right,
women winning. I like to see men
right,
women. I just like to see people winning, period.
right,
It doesn't have to be a particular female or male. I just feel like I just want to see people winning. It's dope when you see people winning, especially when
right,
it's us. And I always encourage people to, you never know what people are going through. Like, you never know what people are fighting through, like you said, the traumas of the narrative of no new friends, and
yeah,
all of those things that you go through, especially when you are a female and you are an entrepreneur, when nobody in your family has been through entrepreneurship, and you building from the ground up. Like you said, you started through the pandemic. That
right,
was basically out of fear, like, I'm gonna lose my job now, what am I going to do? And a
right,
lot of people started during the pandemic, and now it's like, well, I didn't have the guidance, or now I don't have the funds, or whatever the case may be. Now it's like they're discouraged. I
right.
talked to a business owner not too long ago, and she was like, it's just not my season. I was like, why is it not your season?
Hmm.
I'm always gonna play devil's advocate. Why are you not making it your season? You cannot get down because of a circumstance, right? What
Right,
are you doing to change the circumstance? What is the solution? Like, how can you help yourself out of this situation? Or are you gonna keep on moping around saying, man, I hate this, man, I can't get out of this, man. What's going on? Not every day you sad. Now you're depressed because you don't want to leave a dark room. You don't want to leave your house. And there's so many people that just came to me and was telling me like, I was low key depressed and nobody knew. I had postpartum and nobody knew. I had this going on and nobody knew. Did you tell anybody? You can't expect anybody to just show up for you if you're not saying, hey, I need you to show up for me.
Right.
You can't throw a party and expect everybody to show up if you didn't tell them, hey, I need you to show up for this party. Hey, I need you to show up to help me for this giveaway. Hey, I need you to show up and support me on my YouTube channel. I need you to show up and support me. Just go like my podcast. You ain't even got to listen to it.
Right.
Just go like my YouTube channel. I need to get my rankings up. I need to get, my views up. If you support me, these are free ways that you can support me.
Exactly.
Show up to my event, like bring me flowers. You know what I'm saying? Send me an encouraging text message. It's so many ways that you can show up for people. Like my posts.
Absolutely.
You on here anyway. Why you scrolling past your friends' post, but you liking a celebrity post? You in the comments with us. Like we have to support the people around us instead of looking over them. And just like, oh, that's my cousin. Oh, that's my sister. Oh, that's my friend. She's doing her thing right now. But yeah, that's just my friend. She got her little business. We gotta stop doing that to each other. We literally have to tell everybody, hey, I love what you're doing, no matter what. I don't have to know you. I don't have to be connected to you. I don't need an agenda to support you. Exactly. What I just told you, we met off somebody else's live. Okay. And here we are. You about to come to New Orleans. I'm about to come to Toronto. Yes. And we about to link up because we supporting each other, like genuinely. Like this is random. The universe is always bringing things in alignment with you when you're in alignment. Absolutely. When you ask for it and you're ready for it, like I tell people, when they come to work with me, you have to be ready. Yeah. Because you might not even be able to handle me today. The New Orleans sauce might get to you. And you might feel like, oh, she got an attitude. No, I don't have an attitude. But you told me you wanted to reach this goal. And you're not reaching this goal. So I feel responsible to help you reach this goal. And if we're not reaching this goal, what we doing? Right. What we doing? Right. And so we got to think about everything like that. Not just professional, but we got to think about the personal side too. Like, okay, friend, if I told you I want to open this business, friend, you might have the money, you might have the credit. You ain't got to give me no money. But if you know you got high credit limit, friend, add me on your card. You ain't got to give me the card. Help me boost my credit. You see me struggling. Like you have the ability to help people in so many ways than one. And you turn your back and say, I'm nah. But guess what? A closed hand is not going to get anything either. When you open your hand and I ain't saying be a dummy. I ain't saying be a fool and give all your money. If you ain't at the philanthropy stage yet, you can't give all your money away. You can't be sponsoring. Exactly. There's other ways that you can support people. Ask people how you can support them.
Agreed, 100%. And it happens a lot, like especially with entrepreneurship. A lot of people say, family and friends are not going to support, strangers are going to be your biggest supporters. And it's about changing that narrative. But I also believe that, you got to lead by example. We understand the power of support. We understand the power of, extending our hand and doing the smallest thing, share a post, like a comment, whatever that might be, and showing people that it's possible. And it doesn't take anything from you to do it. Like you said, we found each other literally on somebody else's live, right? And it was a simple follow. And here we are. So showing people this more often and letting people know it is safe to do it. It doesn't take away from you, right? Me being on your platform doesn't take away from me. You being on my platform doesn't take away from you. If anything, it enhances it. And if people can come together, especially our type of people, our kind, right? We can go so many places if we just get over that hump of competition and just understanding we live in a world of abundance. So there is so much, and even more so for everyone to leverage what, we've been gifted being here on earth. So
exactly. Definitely leveraging relationships, wealth, building businesses. Like I found business partners online. I found like so many people just from being social and connecting and actually talking and building genuine connections and building that genuine relationship from people worldwide. I met my Airbnb coach online. Wow. He helped me and my husband start a 6-figure business. Wow. So it's like just from meeting somebody online, talking to them, taking the $99 class, you don't know what type of relationship you about to build. Like we always getting flown out, going out there, checking on them. We travel out the country with them within literally just meeting them like 6 months, 7 months later, we out the country. 4 months later, we at concerts, we hanging, like we just doing stuff because now this is dope. We don't know many married couples, right? And
Right.
it's not many people that's like serious in their marriage.
Of
That,
course.
you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta pay
Mhm.
attention to all of those things. But like just as you get older, you realize like I just want peaceful friendships that's
Yep.
gonna put my name in rooms, that I
Yep.
can put their name in rooms. We can exchange
Absolutely.
referrals. My clients could be your clients. It don't have to always be competition. And I feel like so many times people get in their head and they feel like, oh, we competition. We can't be friends. Oh, we're in the same industry. We can't be friends, but we can. Why can't we? Why does it have to be shady because we're doing the same thing? We're not reinventing the wheel. You might do something that's a little bit more unique. You might you might go the extra mile a little bit. You might not, right? It just depends on how you structure your program, your product, or your service, and how I structure mine, and who wants to be with me, who feels like they're in alignment with me versus who feels like they're in alignment with you. Because I know I'm not for everybody.
Right.
I don't want to be for everybody.
Exactly. I'm with you on that.
And everybody not for me. And so
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. But I definitely understand what it takes to build a community and build people that understand the direction that you're going in, that understand the end goal. That's important too, that you said earlier. People that understand the end goal. And like when you building a team or you building empires and you building
Mhm.
businesses across the world, across the country, you have to trust people. And a lot of times our trauma doesn't allow us to trust people. Our experiences don't allow us to hire people, which in turn hinders our growth.
Absolutely, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So we cannot let those type of things hinder our growth. We definitely gotta take in accountability. Okay, this might not have been the best season of my life, or this might not be the best time right now. I might not be in the best place financially or spiritually or emotionally, but I still gotta keep on going. So tell us
Mhm.
one of the ways, a story about how you turn purpose into pain. I mean, pain into purpose. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. So, just like I said, when I decided to, move from the corporate space and come online, it was a very scary transition because I'm an introvert, still an introvert. And I was like, I'm going to have to connect with people and talk to a lot of people that I
That's crazy
didn't
because
know.
I'm shy too, and everybody's
Yeah.
like, "You
Yeah.
not shy? You jump on live?" And I'm
Same.
like, "I have to." You know what I?
Because that's what we do, right? 100%. I feel you. And it was very scary. But what happened was I dived in head first because I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm doing it. Right. So I dived in head first. I was not prepared. And when I say I wasn't prepared, I didn't know what was going to come with the online space. Right. And what I mean by that is, I came in and I was able to gain great success, built, like I said, built a huge community, was able to make over six figures, right? Doing what I was doing with regards to business. And that came with a lot. It came with cyberbullying, right? It came with public assassination. It came with a lot of haters. It came with people from my old neighborhood, just spewing just negativity and hate. And I didn't understand it because I was like, if I'm coming from a place where we all try to get out of and I'm excelling and I'm trying to find a way to get us all out the hood, essentially, where's all this hate coming from? Right. And it took a lot for me not to take it personal and understanding that a lot of people just can't tolerate the level of success that you have gained, especially when they don't understand it, especially if their mindset isn't where it needs to be. Right. So in the midst of that, I was going through a lot of things in my personal life where my partner literally, I was going through a lot of infidelity in my relationship. And it was to a point where when you become an online figure, people are trying to find ways to get into your business. Right. And that's just what it was. And he did end up having two outside children, and it was a lot because people
Wow.
started to catch up on it. And I was like, I literally had anxiety every single time I had to turn on the app. Instagram, because I was like, is someone going to, put it on a blog? Is this going to be the next big story? And I'm leading a bunch of women and I am here and my business is online. And it put me in such a depressive state. Again, struggled with mad PTSD, a lot of trauma, and people were using the things that were intended to break me to make me hide. And it took that point where I was like, I'm going to get off of this app. I don't want to do this business anymore. I'm just going to go in my shell and deal with this. And that's where, my relationship with God really, really, really built. And I talk about God so highly because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gotten out of this space.
A
And,
thousand percent.
I went on a 21-day fast, and that's what absolutely changed my life. And he said, you need to, you need solitude right now. You need to get in some solitude and you need to spend some time with yourself and really figure out where you want your life to go. And I had to take that time away from the online space to really kind of redirect my steps, if you will. And I was able to then write a book within being in that pain. And I wrote that book in the midst of my darkest hour, going through suicidal ideation, again, anxiety, PTSD, mad depression. And again, through all of this, getting cyberbullied. Okay. It was crazy. And I still was able to create that masterpiece, and I was able to release that book. And that book has changed so many lives around the world. So many women were going through the exact same thing that I was going through. And they were like, you are so brave and courageous to put your story and your business on the front line, right? But I needed to hear that because I was going through that, or I'm currently going through that, and I don't think I can move forward, right? And I literally used my pain and turned it into a purpose story. And now I show up with my whole self, unapologetically, and letting people know, whatever I went through doesn't define where I'm going. If anything, it strengthened the story. It added more oomph to the story, right? And it allows me to connect with so many other people around the world. So today I'm thriving, I'm happy, I'm healed, but I wouldn't have been able to get to this point had I not go through all of those tough times. So now when I open my mouth and when I get into rooms, I make sure that I embody light, because I know what it feels like to be dark, and you never know what the next person is going through. So if you could be that little beam of light and that's
As
the
you
least you
should.
can do, right? I encourage you to just do that.
Definitely, I agree 100%. And I think a lot of us have dealt with infidelity, right? And I feel like, let me see, dating. I mean, I guess it's both. I was about to say, if you dating, I don't really count it as. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's not infidelity until you marry. That's
I
my
hear you.
opinion.
I hear
That's
you.
my opinion. Not whatever. In the comments, y'all can fight me, but I just feel like it's not, because you
Yeah,
dating, you dating. You're not
right.
exclusive to nobody. You're not,
Absolutely.
you're not wedded. You're not under,
I
what I'm
hear
saying,
you.
any law, any guy, whatever. Because you're just dating. You're trying to figure out, what do I like?
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that is, as far as that part, not to discredit or take anything away from your story or your situation. But what's the
Yeah.
name of the book? Because we definitely need to get the name
Yeah,
of the book.
absolutely. So it's called How I Turned My Pain into Purpose in 21 Days. And you definitely can get that on my Instagram. The link is there. And it is literally walking everyone through step by step how I literally did this in 21 days. And it is supernatural because, again, when you're in your darkest hour, you probably don't think you can see the light. Right? It's always
You
in that
can't.
darkest hour where you can't see the end of the road, but there is definitely an end of the road, and it's so bright. You just kind of work through that pain to get it.
It is. It is definitely. And it's not just, I feel like with personal relationships, but I feel like even friendship breakups.
Yeah.
That's what we
Hmm.
don't talk about, right? We don't talk about friendship breakups and how hard those are on you as an adult as well. Like, it's hard on kids, but kids usually forget about that person down the line. It's like, oh, I had a friend, but yeah, I don't even remember that. But as an adult, when you built a relationship or a history with somebody and you share secrets and y'all share memories and y'all share times, your friends could disappoint you as well. And
For
when you have
sure.
a friendship breakup, it can affect you just as much as it affects you how a relationship breakup
Yeah.
affects you. Even
The
a
opposite.
business partnership breakup. Like, those are the worst. I've seen people that was like best of friends and go into business, and then now they can't even stand each other, can't speak to each other. But I feel like a lot of that comes from lack of communication. It comes from lack of empathy. It comes from, some people are raised on survival and some people are raised on love. Some people are
Right.
just naturally hustlers and slick talkers. But there's also people that are naturally business owners, and sometimes they can't collide because they can't come to a agreement, right? If you can't come to an agreement on paper, or if you saying, I don't want to sign this contract, I don't want to sign this proposal, you're not really trying to do business. And I feel like you got to definitely upfront separate the business from the personal.
Oh, huge.
And I think so many people don't separate that. We could be cool as hell, but Janelle, if your business ain't together, and I expect you to tell me the same thing, Drake, this not together. If
That's
I would
so
have came, if you would have came on this podcast and any little thing would have been wrong, you'd have been like, it's not the drinker I expected because of
Right.
my persona, what you
Sure.
see, if vice versa, what I see on your page as well. So
Right.
it automatically, before we even came live, we was just vibing already, and so
Right.
you knew, okay, well, this is this dope. This about to be
Yes.
a dope conversation. It's about to be a nice
Right.
partnership, right? And this is how things manifest. But if you start off like, let me see what I could get out of Chanel.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what I could get out of Drika.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what kind of opportunities we can make off each other. You
Right.
coming in already shady. It's never going to be a
Absolutely.
genuine connection, a genuine relationship. And so I think so many times now that's what we're dealing with,
It's true.
right? A lot of people are dealing with so many different people. And so many people are dealing with just people backbiting, and people are,
Yep.
just looking for something in return, but they can't reciprocate.
Agreed.
It's terrible. It's so terrible. And I feel like so many people are getting burned because the expectation is, I could barter something from you, you barter from me, I never have to pay you. And then you feel like, oh, I didn't get nothing out the deal. So now you stop talking to this person. You feel like this person is copying you. You feel like imposter syndrome is setting in. It's so many different things that make people be like, I'm turned off from this. I don't even
Agreed.
want to deal with this no more. You're not even the person that I thought you was. I thought you're not the person that was for me. And
Right.
and it could go from sis to his real quick.
Real fast. Real quick. Been there, done that. And
Real quick.
so important to set boundaries in any relationship, especially when you get into business. You got to separate, your personal from your business. And I tell people all the time, there is no emotions in business. Okay. No feelings in business. And if you don't know how to separate the two, you got to spend some time on your self development, because it is going to affect you long term, right? Business for me is business. My personal is my personal. When the two collide, something always ends up happening. And like you said, when you lose a friend or a business partner, it hurts, because this is someone you're confiding in. This is someone that you are investing in and having an investment with. And when that, doesn't go the way that was expected, it could become a real sticky situation. So I think it's so important getting into any relationship, any friendship or business partnership is off the rip. Set those boundaries and understanding that, hey, this is what I can offer to the relationship. This is what I can offer to the partnership. Have them be able to offer, because I believe that if I'm going to partner with anyone, there has to be value coming both ways. It has to be reciprocal.
Definitely.
Super important. And I'm at a point now where I'm very unapologetic with that, because I know when I first started, you feel bad, right? You feel
Yeah,
bad
you
for
just
setting
feel like, oh, I
boundaries.
want to connect, or I want to support him.
Right.
And you connected, man. Literally, I just saw. Let me tell you, I just screenshotted it. Hold on. It's crazy because you have to watch who you connect with. You
Okay.
literally have to watch who you connect with. Dave Ramsey
Mhm.
faces $150 million suit for promoting a company that's accused of fraud. You have to be careful who you connect with. If
Very.
you see somebody doing shady practices, if you know somebody is not holding up their end of the bargain and you're referring people to them, you have to stop. If you're working with somebody and they're not bringing in the deliverables, you have to cut it short,
Yes. Agreed. Agreed.
because guess what? It's going to cost you.
Of course. And it's a reflection of you. I always say everyone who I'm connected to is a reflection of me ultimately. So I'm very mindful of who I partner with. I'm very mindful of who I keep in my circle, because when I open my mouth, I'm a reflection of the mentors and the coaches and the business people around me. So when I get into a room and they see you like, yo, I met Jen, she's amazing. They know you only keep amazing people around you. They know you only keep people who are inspiring and changing and impacting the world around you. So they don't expect anything less. So I'm very mindful, and I'm at a place now in my life where, like I said, I'm unapologetic with setting those boundaries at the forefront, because I understand the longevity of what could come down the line if those boundaries aren't set.
Absolutely. Gotta pay attention to those red flags.
Oh, for
Gotta
sure.
address them. Like, a lot of times things happen because we don't address stuff. And you
Mm-hmm.
feel like, oh, I'm just letting stuff slide. And you keep letting it slide until it builds up.
Yep.
right? And you build up, and guess what? You're gonna run into a brick wall. And
Absolutely.
now it's no way to salvage the friendship. There's no way to salvage the relationship because you didn't set the boundary, because you was letting stuff slide, and you didn't tell this person how you felt or how it made you feel. You didn't
Right.
tell this person, hey, I don't like how that makes me feel. And I feel like the circle of friends I have, the circle of colleagues I have right now, even like the mentees and the mentors that I have and coaches that I have right now, let me know you're not doing nothing wrong. Hey, that was wrong. You should have said, you could have did this better. Always let me know, and I always ask. But I feel like somewhere down the line, people are afraid to tell you the real truth. It's like
Yeah.
I'm always keeping it real, and it's like the person that's always saying they're keeping it real. Somewhere down the
Yeah.
line, you're telling a lie.
Right.
If you always, I'm, I swear, yeah, somewhere down the line, it's a lie, So it's like you just have to genuinely do these things out of, out the bottom of your heart. Like
Yeah.
I definitely want to see my friends win. I'm gonna put them in positions just like they put me in
Absolutely.
positions, and I'm so grateful for that because I could have still been in the background. I could have still been a shy
Mhm.
girl. I wouldn't have a podcast right now if
Right.
I didn't just step out. I wouldn't have, these businesses that I have if I didn't just step out or even step outside of my environment or step outside of my circle. I would
Right.
still probably be a homemade baker if
Wow.
I didn't say, you know what, because I'm doing this for everybody. No, I really don't even like baking. So guess what? Let me get out the kitchen. It's
Wow.
cool, we made money, but you got to get to a point where you're not doing stuff just for money. And
Right.
like you said, when you bringing in so much value, it starts to be not about the money anymore, and it's more about the income. I mean, the impact, right? And you're like, okay, the income is coming. Even on the days when the income not coming, I get a text message that's reassuring that the impact is there, and I'm okay with that. I might not, I might have made $0 today, but somebody texted me and said, "Thank you for helping me fix my credit.
Mm.
Thank you for helping me get my taxes. I was waiting on this money. Thank you for helping me start a tax business. Thank you for helping me start an Airbnb. Thank you for giving me clarity in my business or that idea or that clarity call that we had. Thank you for this mentorship and this book club or whatever it may be, can tell me the impact is there. So the money's going to come.
Yeah.
The money is always going to come, right? I'm not chasing money. I'm not in a hustle mode. I'm not in grind mode. I'm not in no days off mode because the value is there. People are seeking me out. Now I don't have to keep on saying, hey, show me this, show me that, or look
Yeah.
what I got. Look what I don't do show and tell because I feel like for me, wealth is quiet.
Mm.
For other people, wealth might mean something else.
Mhm.
Rich is not wealthy to me. Like wealth is real freedom. Wealth is
Yeah.
real flexibility. Being able to say, I won't go to Hawaii tomorrow. Not saying I won't go. I'm booking a flight to Hawaii tomorrow.
Okay.
A one way because I don't know when I'm coming back. And
That's
when
it.
I get ready to come back, I'm gonna book another one way home.
Exactly.
I
That's
want to go to the Maldives tomorrow. I don't know when I'm coming back. Right? Like that is
that
what
is yeah.
the journey to wealth looks like for me. I don't know what the journey to wealth looks like for somebody else. Somebody else, it might just be making enough to pay their bills, making enough to pay their house off, making enough to pay their car off, making enough to pay their kids tuition. Whatever that wealth journey looks like for you, don't compare it to what mine looks like. Right? If you feel like I need to have every bag, every wig, inches, labels. If that's what wealth looks like for you, that's your level.
Yep.
I'm beyond that. I don't care about that. If I don't get me wrong, I got labels, I got bags, but that's not what I'm flaunting or flexing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people be like, do she have it? That's exactly where I want to be.
Yep. That's it. Right.
Do
And you
she
said,
really have what she's saying she have? Or
yeah. Yeah.
you
And you
see
said
it?
something so rich. And it's like when you get to a certain place in your success journey, right? The money doesn't matter because as long as you're providing value to the marketplace, the money is going to come. When I measure my success or my journey, I measure it by how many lives have I been able to impact? How many lives have been able to, step in and now they're flourishing? That's what I thrive off of because the money is going to come, it's going to go. It's currency, it's going to flow, right? But how many people
Exactly.
can you really impact? How many lives can you really change? How many people can say, I started a business because I started with Drake? You know what I mean? Like, how many people can come in and show what your fruit is? And I always say, you can definitely tell a leader by their fruit. I want to see your fruit. I want to
Yes.
see who have you been able to impact, and I want to see, is that fruit actually fruitful, and is it able to continue over generations and generations and actually create a legacy out of your family name? That's what really drives me because with social media, people do believe that you got to show the glitz and the glam, which is great, right? But at the behind the scenes of that, what really is what's keeping this fire burning?
What's really going on? Are you
You
happy?
know?
Are the people that you're
Yeah.
working with happy?
Yep.
Are your employees happy?
Yep.
Are they
Yep.
struggling?
Yep.
Like
And
that matters.
it matters. And when I was going through my darkest hour, you would never believe it, because going on my social media, you were seeing me travel, you were seeing me with the designer, you were seeing
Come
me
on,
and
talk
my
about
boyfriend
it.
living our best life on somebody's island. You were seeing all the glitz and the glam, not knowing that I cried myself to sleep every single night, not knowing that I was, facing suicidal ideation at that time. So I tell people all the time, don't get blinded by what you see online, because it is intended for what it's intended to be. I'm showing you what I want you to
These
see.
are all highlights. Like social media is all highlights. Not to say that every day isn't, a blessing and every day
Sure.
isn't an opportunity for you to do. One thing I always say every time I wake up every single day, thank you, Lord, for giving me another opportunity to do your will and your way.
Amen.
From the morning to the evening, when I go home and I take my shower, that's the same prayer that I say when I make it back home. Because some people ain't make it back home. Some people ain't wake up. So I thank the Lord every day for giving me another opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? I'm never waking up mad. I'm never waking up holding a grudge or chip on my shoulder for whatever didn't work out or whatever is not going to work out. I cannot control that.
Right.
Right? And I always have the serenity prayer at the forefront of my head. So even when it is something that I get mad or ticked off about, I kind of like just go over it. And so many people don't have that like quality, I would say, right? A characteristic, because they're so used to like getting in their feelings. It's no money in there. You got to get out your feelings, find a
Okay.
solution, and keep going. And
Literally.
it's hard. It's easier said than done for most people. I feel like as a leader, sometimes we say, "Oh yeah, it's okay," and like you said, you just going through the motions, but you got people that's looking up to you in the midst of you going through infidelity, going through all of the things that you've overcame, right? But sometimes you have to go through the growth through.
Mm, yeah.
It's not you. It wasn't something that you was going through. It was something that you had to grow through. It's something that you had to detach yourself from. It's something that you say, I see a higher purpose for myself, and this is not it. I deserve better. I deserve more.
Yeah.
You gonna get it together, or I gotta go. It's really that simple. So that was your solution. So even in the midst of it, you kind of got in your feelings, but those feelings helped you find yourself.
That's it.
So I'm happy for you. I'm proud that you
Yeah.
did all of the things that you've done. I'm so happy that
Thank
you've written
you.
your book. I'm so happy that you're helping people. I'm so happy about your coaching and your mentorship, because I feel like people need it. And I feel like a lot of times we don't talk about certain things, or it's taboo, or we feel embarrassed or humiliated. But guess what? There's so many people going through it. Why, when we watch TV, what we see?
Like, okay. Okay.
Men cheating, even on the African shows in Dubai, it's like y'all cheating out here.
And you
Damn.
guys are living your best life. Let's find time for
And
sure.
you still
Yes. And we are all human. And I say it doesn't matter how much money someone has made
exactly.
or how much impact they've been able to provide to the world. We are human. And when we learn to connect on a human level, it is so much more easier for us to build empathy for each other and to understand each other, which again strengthens community, makes us come
Yep.
together and say, you are not alone. I've been through this, or I know someone who's been through this, and let's come together and hold you up in your darkest hour until you get through, like you said. So I do believe everything happened divinely, and everything had to happen when it happened for me to get to this point. And I'm happy, and I'm in a great space, and I'm excited to continue to impact and help other women around the world.
100%. What are some, before I let you go, what are some ways that you would say that you make income online, like making
Yeah.
a transition from corporate to entrepreneurship?
Yeah. Let's talk about the money a little bit. Um,
Got
right.
to. That's why we call it comma convos. We got to get to the
Exactly.
money.
We gotta
Let's
get to
get
the
into the
money at the
money.
end of the day. So yeah, so I have had my fair share of online entrepreneurship. Love digital currency in terms of making money online. Call it Wi-Fi money, whatever you will, right? Because I never made this amount of money in my life, and I was a social worker making great money. Okay. But when I got into the online space, there are so many more people you can connect with. which again, adding value to all those people will generate into money. So the different things that I've been able to do is, and I thrive myself on this, is leveraging brands, right? Leveraging brands and using the app to share that. So we call it social selling in our world, using social media to sell. All the time we're talking about what's the best restaurant, what's the best smelling perfume, what's the best boutique you can go and get your clothes at, but we're doing it for free. Understanding you are in an app, there are brands that will pay you to talk about the things you love. Okay. And I say this is for anybody that is using the app. There should be no reason you are using Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and not getting paid. In 2023, don't make
Bars.
that be you. Okay. Do not make that be you. It is so important. Even if you're making an extra $5, if you are using Instagram and Meta's platform and they are making a bank off of you, you go ahead and take your piece of the pie. Like I said at the beginning, we live in a very abundant space. So there is money for you on this app as well, not just to scroll. So right now I have partnered with an amazing, amazing company. I am actually one of the co-founders of GoFinity, which is the parent company of Hairfinity. Many people know them from back in the day. They are from your hometown, New Orleans, showing New Orleans some love. And what we do over here is really use these amazing products, hair and wellness products that are made for us, by us, Black owned, of course. And we just talk about our experiences using these products and sharing it with people around the world. And by way of doing that, the company is going to give you a commission for the value you're able to provide to your audience. So again, if you were talking about your favorite boutique, your favorite restaurant, and they're not paying you to talk about the amazing reviews, you need to reevaluate and find a company that's going to pay you, because at the end of the day, that is free publicity and you are giving them a free ad on your page, right? So I've learned and mastered leveraging brands. Like I've mastered it to a point where I've been able to pour this into communities and having women and men around the world doing the same thing, being able, and I've been able to make over 6 figures doing this. So it is very possible, right? Of course, I do have my mentorship firm, Laneige Mentorship. We will be relaunching very, very soon. Where I help brands leverage the social media space. And because I have a social work background, I'm able to pair the two, because a huge part of entrepreneurship, a huge part of being a business owner is your mindset. I always say, 90% mindset, 10% work. You could have all the skills in the
I love
world,
it.
all the talent in the world, but if your mindset is not right, it is not going to go as far as you want it to go. Right. So I pair those two together. So I have the therapeutic piece as well as the business piece, and I can pair the two together to create something magical. So that is what I thrive myself on when it comes to making money online. And again, like you said, it's about providing value. As long as I'm providing value into the space, I know the money is going to come. Right. We did have a grocery store here in Toronto as well, African and Caribbean grocery store. Again, finding ways to tap into the community and helping our people and really investing into things that I know are going to create a legacy and to inspire those around me from where I'm from and other parts of the world to do it too. Because if I can do it as a high school dropout, anybody could. Okay. It's just
Love,
about
love, love
getting
it.
your mindset together and pushing the needle and having an amazing community behind you to push you.
100%. I love it. I gotta give you your flowers. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Jen. We gotta play a game, and I'm gonna let you go for your day.
All right.
Quick game. This is my favorite game, favorite part of the show. We always play this or that. You cannot choose both.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
You cannot choose both. Okay, it's gonna go real fast. So the first thing that pop in your mind, you gotta choose it.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. Playlist or podcast?
Podcast.
Shoes or sneakers or slides? I'll see.
Slides.
Pork or beef?
Beef.
Pool or beach?
Beach.
Beach or cruise?
Cruise.
I'm
I just went on my first cruise, and let me tell you,
so happy you said that. Oh my God. Like
I
the
will never
last
go on another resort. I just need a safe.
guest was like, I never been on a cruise. I don't
Mm.
get on water that I can't drink. I was like, cruises are lit.
Lit.
What cruise you went on? You went
I
on
went on
Carnival. You
Carnival.
went
Yeah, we actually ported in New Orleans and went on the Carnival. It was absolutely insane. Like, I'm planning to
absolutely. I love cruises. It's like an all-in-one vacation.
100%
What about fruit or vegetables?
fruit.
Cats or dogs?
Neither. Okay, dogs.
Winter or summer?
Winter.
Okay, what about cash or cards?
Cards.
Snacks or meal?
Meal.
Date or Netflix and chill?
I'm in a state dates.
You can't tell the people you like Netflix and chilling, but I
Because
know
you're
you
gonna be
really
like,
like
I'm gonna talk about
What about water or soda?
water.
Text or call?
Text.
Text or FaceTime?
Text. Too much interaction.
Wait, don't call me. I'm gonna let the phone ring and then
Right?
watch
Like
it
we
ring
can
and
get it
then be like,
face to
"What's up?"
face. Exactly, exactly.
City or farm?
Farm.
Spin or save?
Save.
Okay, driver or passenger?
Passenger princess always.
Laptop or tablet?
Laptop.
When it comes to movies, you like comedy or horror?
Comedy.
Wine or like hard liquor? I also got the girls in the chokehold.
Right? Okay, I'm in the space of hard liquor right now.
Okay, what about movies or TV shows?
TV shows.
Android or iPhone?
iPhone all the way. Like that's not even a question.
Pancake or waffle?
Pancakes.
Love or money?
Love.
Would you like to be feared or respected?
Respected.
100%. That was great. That was
Loved
so great.
it.
You did amazing. I really appreciate your time. Please tell everybody how to follow you and find you and enroll in any programs or
Yes.
opportunities that you have for them.
Yes, absolutely. So you can guys follow me on Gendaboss on Instagram, Gendaboss. If you would love to read the book, the link is in the bio. If you would love to work with me to know more about how you too can leverage brands and make money off of these social media apps that are already making money off of us, send me a DM. I live in there. I'm very fast at responding. And we can see how we can collide and, make magic happen. And I'm here based in Toronto, Canada, and I'll be having a whole bunch of amazing things coming out. I am going on tour, so look out for that. So I'm coming to a country or city near you to come and share the wealth of knowledge that I've been able to garnish over the past few years.
Absolutely, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all go follow Gendaboss. Share this podcast episode with a friend, business partner, or your boo, right? And just let them know they need to hear this, man or women. Definitely, if you want to connect with me, I am Drika M. Carter. You can follow me at Drika M. Carter on all platforms. I do have our 4th annual Wealth Development Summit coming to Toronto. This fall. It's going to be August 3rd through 7th during Caravan. I'm so excited about that. So if you want more information, you can go to my website, drikamcarter.com, and click travel with me to Toronto. If you are a local, if you're already in Toronto, you can purchase the general admission, which will cover your admission to all of the seminars, all of the parties, the parades, all of those things. And you don't have to pay for any flight or lodging. So definitely tap in with us. If you are not in Toronto and you need to travel with us, your all-inclusive is the VIP package. So go ahead and go to drikamcarter.com. Make sure y'all follow Convos podcast and connect with both Jen and myself and keep it pushing, right? I want to see you guys winning and wealthy. I always say that at the end of my shows, at the beginning of the day. Make sure that people around you are helping you win in some type of way. Y'all have a great day. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. Take care.